Yeah, we here, man. We moved to Denver. I said, oh yeah, well let me hear what y'all got.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, they start beatboxing and rapping and all that, and I was blown away. We started entering contests and stuff right when rap began. You know what I'm saying? And man, well, 40 years later, we just got a lifelong legacy of pioneering Denver's hip hop, ciphers and doing all of that.
Yeah.
However, Living Legends, they were recorded because they put out a record in 1984 or 85. It was a record, a 12-inch record.
Was that the first hip hop record in Denver?
That was like the first hip hop record out of Denver.
Some of your early tracks, like in the 80s, late 80s, 87, produced by Steve from Tag Team.
Yeah, Steve Rowland. Like I said, Most Illest B-Boys, they rolled with Steve Rowland and the Tag Team, right along with the Fresh MCs.
It was all friendship, wasn't nothing to be fighting over.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, rap contest, look at your song, my song.
Yeah, right. It was called Versus. it was like Versus back then.
Right, yeah.
Man, right here put together one of the most coldest albums, Denver Volume 3.
Yes, sir.
Check it out.
Yes, sir. I posted up something about DJ Quick. He's like, oh, you gonna represent that dude after he dogged Denver out? No?
Yeah.
So, man, that was 30-something years ago, man.
Right.
Everybody, you know.
And he shows love now. He shows a lot of love.
Man.
Yeah.
And he's one of the, super producers, man, that people really don't
mention.
What's up? This your boy General Norrad, aka Chucksy Chill, from HBO Homeboys Only, aka the Homeboys. You know what I'm saying? And we standing right here on 23rd and Marion Street. If you can get the sign right there.
Yeah.
This is the house right here where I grew up in, where me and my cousin there, we started messing around with music and rap and all of that.
Yeah.
And my cousin, matter of fact, my cousin lived down in the projects, down in Curtis Park Projects, and my cousin stayed the night over at my house. I stayed the night at his house in the projects with my uncle and my other cousin. And he woke me up. Well, he came all the way down there and woke me up one morning and said, hey, man, you need to come back up to your house, man. There's these guys in here from New York, and they be rapping and beatboxing and doing all kind of good stuff, man. And I said, okay. So I got up and came, and then, I had to walk all the way home from the project.
Yeah.
So I'm walking up this street right here. I'm walking up this street, and I see the guy standing in the street right here. So I walk over here, like yesterday. I walk over here and I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, here, the guy's right here. So I'm standing right here like, oh yeah? So y'all be rapping and stuff? And he's like, yeah, man, we from New York, we from Brooklyn. And yeah, we here, man. We moved to Denver. I said, oh yeah, well let me hear what y'all got.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, they start beatboxing and rapping and all that, and I was blown away. And matter of fact, it was Lovesky, Lip Jockey of HBO, his brother Kida, and his other brother Hassan. And their uncle Ray, rest in peace, he lived in this big house right here. And that's where they came from, Brooklyn, New York.
What year was this?
This was 1986, the summer of 1986.
Okay.
They lived in this big house right here.
So that's when you say you first heard like hip hop in Denver, or
no. When I first heard hip hop in Denver was Egyptian Lover, and African Bambaataa. You know what I'm saying? The Zulu Nation. I first heard them. Planet Rock and all of that. That's when I first heard it, man. I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? I was blown away by it. But we came from the breakdance era.
Okay, yeah.
We in 1983, we put together a breakdance group called Atomic Breakers, and then it was Tommy Glenarm and the Electric Puppets. And shout out to Big Tommy, man, to Whitfield, man. OG, rest in peace, my brother. I love you forever, man. We did our thing, but we started a breakdance group, and breakdancing kind of died out.
Yeah.
And I discovered rap, with Run DMC and LL Cool J and all that. And it inspired me to do it. And me and my cousin was down at his house in the projects, always practicing, acting like Run DMC and all that.
Yeah.
And so that morning when he came down and got me and brought me up here to meet the guys from New York, it was right here in this street. And they started beatboxing and rapping. They had this rap called Chillin' in the Lobby. And, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Umi. Shout out to all the Garrett family up in Brooklyn, man. I love y'all, man. Coney Island. And it started right here. You know what I'm saying? We just started beatboxing. And so I was listening to him rap. I said, them guys are really good. And by that time, when I first started rapping, I didn't have too many raps. So they inspired me enough. Later on that night, I went upstairs in my house and wrote about 10 songs in one night. And then I came back out the next day and we was out here rapping and all that. We was like, well, if we gonna rap together, we gonna start a group, we need a name for the group. And Loveski from HBO, he was like, well, why don't we just call ourselves HBO? I said, HBO? I said, what that mean, man? He said, Homeboys Only. I said, that's it, man. We HBO. Yeah. So we started running with that name, man, and we used to go down here to the school and beatbox and freestyle all night long. And next thing you know, we heard about a rap contest on the radio station down at KDKO. It was downtown at Woolsworth on the 16th Street Mall. You know what I'm saying? It was a rap contest live on the radio station. It was live. So we all got dressed and we walked all the way downtown to the 16th Street Mall. It was Carlos Lando, I think Ricky O was one of the DJs down there. And there's another DJ. But when we got there, there was some other rappers. And I got to give a big shout out to the other pioneers of Denver's hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Because after we discovered hip hop, we were down at Juneteenth, and then we saw a hip-hop group performing on stage, and it was Legion of Doom. You know what I'm saying? Legion of Doom. Shout out to the Legion of Doom. Shout out to Star Child, Mr. Magic, a.k.a. Brother Jeff. Shout out to DJ Slick Rick.
Oh, Brother Jeff?
Yeah. Okay. Shout out to DJ Slick Rick, Sir Jam, you know what I'm saying, and Reggie Simon, man. I saw them cats at Juneteenth, and they would get down. They were scratching and mixing and rapping, and Slick Rick, he was dope on the lyrics. Him and Sir Jam, they was out there doing their thing, and that inspired us. So we ran home and we started really making songs. But back to the contest down on 16th Street Mall, we entered the contest right on the spot, and we got up and did our thing with me, Loveski, my cousin TLA. Shout out to TLA. He's the one that lived in the projects, and he the one that came and got me and introduced me to Loveski now. You know what I'm saying? He's in Texas now, you know what I'm saying, DJing and still doing his thing. Yeah. But yeah, we went down to the contest on the 16th Street Mall, and we entered the contest, and we had this routine that I was telling Loveski what to do with his lips and the sounds to make with his lips, you know, in my raps. And we was doing that, and he broke down this one song we had called Loveski Lip Jockey. And he broke it down with this jingle bell type of beatbox. And when he did that, the whole crowd lost their mind. Yeah. We won the contest. The winner, you know, got some New Edition tickets, you know what I'm saying, to see New Edition. And we went out, you know, after we won the contest, man, we ran home and we knew we had something special. So we just, you know, started really rehearsing songs and putting together our stage act. And next thing you know, there was another rap contest down at Breezins, down in Curtis Park, down in Curtis Park Projects, and we entered the contest. We was battling Moore and Mosley. I got to give a shout out to some other pioneers as well, because I say that I'm a pioneer, but there's others that came before me. You know what I'm saying? Before HBO, like you had Billie Jean, you had Keith McDay, you had MC Boom, you had your boy from the projects, Boogie Bass and all of them, and Rap and Roll down in the projects. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them pioneers was there when we started. Yeah. And
were they recording too, or was it more just like freestyle and battle rap and like that? Or
it was freestyling back then and battling a lot of that. And then we started going to the studios after that. You know okay. Basically, in the beginning, it was a lot of freestyling and ciphers and just getting it in. And it was some pretty good artists back then. Even back then, they were really getting it in. Like Keith McDay, He was like one of the hardest rappers out here. And then you had other groups like Black Hole Posse. You had Brothers Most Wanted. Back then they were called Extra.
Okay.
When they first started out with Sabotage and Dino and all of them cats, man. They were pretty good. And matter of fact, I got AK with me now, man. What up, AK? Black Hole Posse, man. Well, yeah, that's Black Hole Posse. We put together a group in these last days called Lion's Den, man, with us. Me, AK from Black Hole Posse, Sabotage from BMW, and of course, you know, HBO.
Yeah.
We put together this superstar group, man, and got our cousin Caesar, man, from the Tan Band. He's singing on there, singing all the hooks and all of that. And we doing some really good things right now. So, you know, 40 years later, we still in it. And what we was doing right here, standing in the street, was in the summer of 1986, man. I'll never forget it. But yeah, like I said, we entered the contest down at Breezens to open up for Kool Moe Dee, Jazzy Jeff, and the Fresh Prince, and the Skinny Boys. And we was battling, what were they? Battling Legion of Doom. Not Legion of Doom, the Living Legends, which is Warren Mosley and his beatboxer. And they were pretty good. We were going back and forth, and they couldn't pick a winner.
Yeah.
And so then you had the Most Illness B-Boys. They were out there. And shout out to Captain Mike and your boy Frosty Don, man, from the Most Illness B-Boys, who they used to roll with Steve Rowland from Tag Team. You know what I'm saying? Then you also had the Fresh MCs. You had a whole bunch of groups, man. Like, they started coming after a while, after we started doing it. Some guys moved from New York in this big house.
Yeah.
And they were really hip hop. They were beatboxing and rapping, and we was little kids, and we were blown away. So we started a group, a rap group, and we called it HBO.
Yeah.
And we started entering contests and stuff right when rap began. You know what I'm saying? And man, 40 years later, we just got a lifelong legacy of pioneering Denver's hip hop.
In this house, right?
In that house right there, yep. It's Uncle Ray. But like I said, it all started right here in this house, man. And these two houses, that's the whole legacy of, you know, HBO's beginning, you know, as far as hip hop.
Yeah.
And it was a blessing, man. And like I said, we entered that contest down at Breezens, and we were competing, man, back and forth to open up for Jazzy Jeff, Fresh Prince, and Kool Moe Dee. And us and Living Legends came in a tie. We they claimed it a tie at the contest. So they let
that's an easy way out.
Yeah, so they let both of us open up for Kool Moe Dee, Jazzy Jeff, and Fresh Prince. And the whole city back then was at this concert. And HBO, we was little teenagers, man. We had these little white jogging suits on and stuff, white and red with graffiti drawn all over it. We got on stage and did our thing and brought the house down. And after that, you know, HBO made their name for themselves.
Yeah.
And we started entering into all kind of other shows and doing a lot of shows and interviews and all of that, and Channel 12, you know.
Yeah.
And we was everywhere, man.
So there were people freestyling and stuff before you, but would you say like y'all were one of the first groups that really started recording and like taking it serious though, in that way, or?
Yeah, we were. But like I said, the guys that came before us, we used to see them out, you know, in ciphers and doing all of that.
Yeah.
However, Living Legends, they were recorded because they put out a record in 1984 or 85. It was a record, a 12-inch record.
Was that the first hip hop record in Denver?
That was like the first hip hop record out of Denver, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. Rick remembers the name. But
I seen some of your early tracks, like in the 80s, late 80s, 87, produced by Steve from Tag Team.
Yeah, Steve Rowland. Like I said, Most Illness B-Boys, they rolled with Steve Rowland and the Tag Team, right along with the Fresh MCs and MP Fresh and who else was with us? I think that was probably it. It was only like 3 or 4 of us that was messing with Steve. But Most Illness B-Boys, they were one of Steve Rowland's groups from tag team.
Yeah.
And they were super dope, man. I got to give it up to them cats. They was really good. We had a contest up there across the street from Shotgun Willie's at the, it was called the Sheridan back then, hotel. And we did the contest, and we thought we was going to win the contest because Steve Rowland them and the Most Illest B-Boys didn't show up yet.
Oh, okay.
And they said, if these guys don't show up, y'all won. And we was all excited, like, yeah. So we standing on the wall. Next thing you know, here comes Steve Rowland and the Most Illest B-Boys walking in. And what they was walking in with was crazy. They had keyboards, 808s, 909s, and we was like, oh man.
So they were destined for
because we was going off a little Dr. Rhythm drum machine, you know, but they bought in the heavy equipment. And they got up on stage and they turned it out. Man, that contest was so good, man. I can still remember like one of the songs they were doing. Steve Rowland got up there and they was like, Steve, yo, put it in reverse. He hit this button. The beat went in reverse. They started doing this little dance. Crowd erupted and they won the contest. So, but then after that, Most Illest B-Boys said, man, let's go hang out, you know, after that show.
Yeah.
And we came over here. I came to my crib first, then we went over there to Squeeze's crib from HBO, and then walked all the way to Steve Rowland's house down on 27th in York. And he was like, man, we gonna ask Steve, man, if y'all can get down with us, man, be a part of our little clique and stuff. So they went and asked Steve. Steve was like, yeah, man, bring them by. We started going by his house and started recording. That was after Love Ski and them left.
That's
back
dope.
to New York.
So what was it like, you know, a few years later seeing, you know, Whoop, there it is, go crazy? Obviously they moved to Atlanta and stuff like that, but what was that like for y'all, you know what I'm saying, working close with tag team with Steve, you know what I'm saying, seeing their success? Were y'all happy for it? Was a lot of like love, you know what I'm saying, showing his direction from the city and stuff like that?
Oh, absolutely. You know, when they came out with that, the city was really on fire, you know. What it was after Love Ski moved back to New York, and my cousin, TLA, you know, it was 4 of us in HBO. It was me, it was myself.
Yeah.
AKA Chuck Chill. Love Ski Lip Jockey from Brooklyn, New York. And TLA, my cousin, he lived down in the Curtis Park projects. And then we added Chauncey D Squeeze to HBO. It was 4 of us. And we was really doing our thing, but Love Ski moved back to New York. We had these shirts. After my cousin left the group, it was only 3 of us. Me, Love Ski, and Chauncey D.
Yeah.
We had these shirts with HBO on it. I was the B, Squeeze was the H, and Love Ski was the O. He moved back to New York, so we dropped the O.
Oh, okay.
And just decided to call ourselves the Homeboys.
Oh, okay.
And that's where that came from, because, you know, we were pretty sad that he moved back.
Yeah.
We had to figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
And so, and then after they left, we did that contest out there at the Sheridan. I think it was called the Sheridan. And then Most Illest B-Boys took us to Steve Rowland. And then Steve Rowland, we went to Colorado Sound, recorded like 4 tracks with Steve. Started doing shows. We did a show on July 22nd, 1988 at the Federal Theater on Federal with us, Most Illest B-Boys, Fresh from Seniors. And we were part of that camp for a while. Then Steve happened to, you know, he graduated and he went off to college in Atlanta. And once he went,
right.
Yeah, once he moved to Atlanta, we had to reinvent ourselves again, you know. So we was hanging with the Most Ill and was doing some good things. And and then next thing you know, Steve Rowland blew up with that song. Wow. He even came back to Denver looking for artists to work with and stuff.
Which is dope.
Yeah. And by that time, man, 94, we was already on like a 8-year, 8-year run or something like that. And we were kind of burnt out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So
it's hard.
Backed off a little bit. But if it wasn't for Scratch G, you know, telling me not to ever give up, you know what I'm saying?
Cutting Crew?
Yeah, we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Scratch G, because I had gave up. on the rap thing in 1994. You know what I'm saying? And then, yeah, Steve Rowland, they came back, they had blew up, man. We was expecting to try to get on and do some things and put Denver on the map.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work out that way, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said.
It was hard. Was it hard to, like, because obviously mainstream cities, you had LA, New York, Denver has always kind of been overlooked in hip hop. So like, were y'all motivated to put it on the map? And like, how hard was it, you know, trying to take that next step and become like mainstream and stuff like that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It was really hard. It was really, really hard. But we had a couple of opportunities, well, blown opportunities, you know, like with Atlantic Records and a couple of other labels. But like I said, in 1994, 95, Scratch G, he had approached me at Cinco de Mayo and told me, don't ever give up. You know, you need to put your group back together and start getting back in the studio. He said he'd get us in shows, and we started doing that. And at one of the shows we were performing at this record store on the north side, they FOPA, you know what I'm saying, DK All Day, they were performing with your boy Gov Dog, LKG, and Trey Deuce. They were performing. They saw us performing, and they was like, wow, man. They looked at us like, them cats is pretty good, man, and said, we need to holler at y'all. They hollered at us, and they offered us a record deal. They believed in us, you know.
Okay.
And, you know, it was an independent record label, but we did it with 1332 Records, and then Trey Deuce from 1332 Records broke off after he got us, and then he created True Hustling Records, and he signed the Homeboys to True Hustling Records. And after that, you know, the rest was history, you know. And so, but this is where it started, man. Back then, it's all green over here.
Yeah.
Back then, it was brown. You know what I'm saying? There was no grass around here. It was
different.
really kind of ghetto over here.
So it got gentrified.
Yeah, it got gentrified, man.
So, man, we got the legendary AK from Black Hole Posse, man, one of the pioneers.
What it do, man? What's happening with you?
Man, it's just a blessing to sit down with you for a second, man. You know, one of the biggest hits in Denver hip hop history, man, Denver Love. Do you just want to break that one down a little bit, how that came together?
Oh, man, it's all good, but right here, my homeboy Norrad from HBO, you know what I'm saying? He produced Denver Love Volume 3, so that's what we're going to talk about right here. Volume 1, Volume 2. He produced Volume 3. It's out there on the market if you can find it. We're putting the final touches on it. 3 more tracks to it. So, yeah, he's been doing a lot of work.
Yeah, we also, you know, came together, created a group called the Lions Den with me, AK, and Sabotage from BMW.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And in 2020 or 2021, y'all did that video. Like all three, it was dope seeing like all three groups come together. Was it more love back in the day, you know, easier to come together? Because I feel like a lot of times nowadays it's more competitive. Not to say y'all weren't competitive, but like it's I feel like it's harder, egos, it's hard to get people to collaborate, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially from different rap groups, from different you know, neighborhoods and stuff in Denver. So like, you know, how were y'all able to come together for that track? And
well, back in the day, me and this guy right here, he was one of the dopest MCs, man, when that touched the mic back then. One of the dopest, you know. He was super on that microphone. Well, me and him and I used to be arch rivals in the rap game.
Okay.
We was
so
like,
was that
we was like MC Shan and LL Cool J or something, or LL Cool Mo D. Every time we saw each other, boom, we clashed and we start battling. Everywhere we went, this guy would, no, come on, let's go. Let's go.
LL Cool J and Ice-T. Yeah.
Okay.
That's real about it. But yeah.
Me and this cat, yeah, we used to battle like cats and dogs, man. So just recently, you know, 2019, 20, you know what I'm saying, we came together, we all sat down and chopped it up. We started working on new music together. We decided to put this all-star super group together.
It was all friendship, wasn't nothing to be fighting over.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, rap contest. If your song, my song, that is.
Yeah,
right.
It was called Versus. It was like Versus back then.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, right here put together one of the most coldest albums, Denver Love Volume 3.
Yes, sir.
Check it out.
Yes, sir. With the Lions Den. But go on and let them know about that Denver Love, man.
From back in the 90s.
Giving up to the towns where I'm from. Actually, to be honest, I heard Tupac with his California love, so I said, hey, Denver love, you know what I'm saying? And there it is.
That's how it came together. And it was getting played on the radio and stuff too out here. He was getting some.
We ran ads. I don't know. I don't really listen to the radio too much, but we ran ads to promote the album. They did play it. You know, I probably wasn't paying attention.
Right.
Right around playing the other rap music, so.
Yeah. Would you say that was y'all's biggest track, or what were some other big hits that really resonated with the crowd, with the people?
That was a good performance track. I don't know, man. It all depends on which one you really like. That was great for performance. So, yes, it was great to do that around the city and perform it versus the shoot 'em up, gang bang, and stuff like that.
That was easier to go mainstream in the city type, yeah. But what was like the recording process back then like versus now? Was it a lot harder? You know what I'm saying? And did you? I don't know, it just feels like nowadays you kind of everyone can rap, everyone can say whatever, but it felt like back then it was like you really had to be that and, you know, you not portray an image and, you know what I'm saying? Like,
we had to have money back then, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, rap was rare.
$50, $100.
It was real rare back then.
That's just to record. $50, $100 and mix it down. Nowadays.
Yeah. And then how did y'all ended up bringing in you said Sabotage from BMW for Lions Den?
Yeah, for the Lions Den. Yeah.
So would you say back then like y'all three groups were the biggest in Denver at that time, or? Yeah,
so us three groups. Yeah. You also had, like I said, the Fresh MCs, Most Illness, B-Boys. You know, like I said, Legion of Doom, when they started and they were all rapping and had their group, all of a sudden, all of them became DJs.
Yeah.
They started DJing clubs and parties and stuff. So after that, they kind of left us out there. So HBO, Black Hole Posse, BMW, we were like the three premier groups here in Denver that was really putting it down.
Okay. But I wanted to ask about DJ Quick. Obviously, that's like, everyone always goes to that when they talk about Denver hip hop. Yeah. Do y'all remember like... What?
I remember when I was beating them up. I don't know about nothing else.
Yeah, but about the DJ Quick concert that took place, we heard that he was going to be performing over at Old Mammoth Gardens, which is now the Fillmore. And back then, it was what year was that? Like 92 or something?
90, somewhere in 90.
Yeah, 92. And we were the Homeboys that time, and we had got a new member into the group, which was L Spell. You know what I'm saying? And we was being managed by Victor Lane, his cousin. And we wanted to open up for DJ Quick real bad. And so I told my manager, man, you should go talk to the promoter and see if the Homeboys can open up for DJ Quick. So he said, I'm going to go holler at him, man. I'll be back. He went and talked to the guy. His name is Keith Nillen. Keith, is it Nillen?
I'm not sure.
Keith Nillen.
Yeah.
You know,
that's the promoter? The promoter for the show?
Okay. The one that bought DJ Quick.
I think I did see an interview with him.
Yeah.
Now I think about it.
Keith, you know what I'm saying? And our manager at the time, Victor Lane, when spoke to him and asked him if we can open up. And we were sitting at home waiting to see what he was going to say when he got back. We thought, you know, we just knew that we wasn't going to be able to open up. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was going to say, nah, man.
Yeah.
But he came back. He said, man, y'all start practicing. I said, why, man? He said, y'all opening up for DJ Quick.
Oh, okay.
Like, wow.
That day?
Yeah, we opened up that day. So, you know, we ended up going up there, opening up for Quick. We had DJ Fame as our DJ at the time. And like I said, we opened up for him, and this was like the first time I ever seen like any fans with tears in their eyes for the Homeboys, like crying and stuff with us on stage, and we were doing all these little dance routines and stuff, and it was, you know, pretty nice. And we opened up for him, and we got to hang out backstage, and so we saw DJ Quick going on, and next thing you know, he was performing, and all the lights in the building just turned red, and they started bouncing, and DJ Quick was up there talking about, you know, he's doing Born and Raised in Compton, but he started saying Bompton, bumping and throwing up bees and all that. Next thing you know, all the Crips was just pushing their way to the front of the crowd. And next thing you know, they was all in front of the stage throwing up their signs and woo, bump. Next thing you know, bottles start flying. They start jumping on the stage. So DJ Quick, I think he the one went and grabbed this big old water jug. It was like this big old square water jug. And he grabbed it and he took it and threw it right into the crowd. Boom! And after he did that, they started throwing bottles up there. Yeah. One of the second to none, one of them cats caught one of them bottles and threw it back in the crowd and bust somebody upside the head with it. Oh. And it was total chaos after that, man. Like I said, we was backstage, so we was trying to escape and trying to find our way out. Yeah. We go to the alley. DJ Quick's limo is in the alley out there, and next thing you know, they came. All the gang members, all the Crips came from each side of the alley and ran up to DJ Quick's limo and started jumping on it and start busting windows out and jumping on it like.
So they were going crazy,
man. But it was a blessing, man. We got to open up for him, man. That was a real good show that the Homeboys did back then.
So the chaos happened after y'all had a good show, and then the chaos happened after.
And it happened, yes. We had did our thing.
And then he came out with the song Just Like Compton, and then people, he kind of dissed Denver in the song. Yeah. What was the city like when he dropped that song?
Oh, they were on fire. They were hot, man. Everybody mad. They still mad to this day about that, Yeah, right. Some guy hit me on Facebook the other day. I posted up something about DJ Quick. He's like, oh, you gonna represent that dude after he dogged Denver out? No. Yeah. I said, man, that was 30-something years ago, man. Right. Everybody,
And he shows love now. He shows a lot of love,
man. Yeah. And he's one of the, super producers, man, that people really don't mention or acknowledge, man. He's a real good super producer.
Wait, was that you that posted about him being more influential than Dre, or no, that was someone else? Nah, that wasn't you.
Nah.
I was gonna say, like, I can't say that, but no, he definitely was influential. My bad. I don't mean to throw that on you. That wasn't you, but
yeah, like I said, man, the whole history of HBO, man, is really legendary, and I think about it every day. We in '88, I moved from here, and we moved over to the west side on 6th and by Denver General. What's the street out? Well, we moved
there's a bunch of state names.
Yeah, we moved over there, because by that time, by '88, '89. That gangbanging really started with the Crips and Bloods, and it was terrible, man. We went from, I see my city go from doing good to like going nuts over this gangbanging, So one morning, me and my family, we all got dressed and we all came out and standing on this porch right here to get ready for the day. We all dressed and nice. Next thing you know, we start hearing gunshots. Pow, pow. And I kept hearing these bullets whizzing by my head, hitting the wall right there. Yeah. Like, we looked across the street and I saw the guy reach from behind the tree and shoot. We was like
towards y'all.
Yeah.
Damn.
We was like, get down, they shooting. And after that, my mom said, son, they really after you, man. So you're going to have to figure something out, because I don't want them, coming shooting up this house or doing all that. So I got with Chauncey D from the Homeboys, and his mom let me move with them over on the west side. And that kind of separated us from the gang culture, and we took a different route.
So, I mean, I can cut this part out if you want, but why were they after you? Or like, was it just because you're from here? It wasn't even like...
No, we were rapping back then, and then rap turned it into gangbanging. And so, like I said, Chauncey D and his peoples was hanging around some Park Hill people, CMGs in Park Hill. And we were in their presence, so we started hanging with them. And so all the Crips on this side of town, knew us for hanging with them.
Oh, okay.
They really,
they didn't like that.
Yeah, they didn't like us, banging with the Bloods, and the whole east side really started going after us. So
Damn.
yeah, it was time to get up out of here, man.
Yeah. So y'all went to West Denver and
Yeah, we went to West Denver and
but then West Denver is it could get dangerous too, but
with the GKI,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And we, you know, trying to get our lives back on track after all this gang banging in the crack era and all of that. We was trying to get things back in perspective and get back into music and take a different route other than gang banging. So from the west side, we moved to the north side. We moved to like 33rd of Vallejo.
Is that when you met Scratch G maybe around that time?
Matter of fact, we met Scratch G. I met Scratch G in 1984.
Oh, okay, so early.
Chauncey D from the Homeboys came over here. We was hanging out. He said, man, I want to take you over to this DJ's house, man. I was like, oh yeah? He said, yeah, man, his name's Gary, man. We need to, Scratch G, man, we need to go holler at him. So we walked all the way up there on 20th and Washington. And I walk in the house and it was Scratch G and his cousin, I think Sonny. And they were in there. Scratch G was in the living room just cutting and scratching. And this is when it was new.
Yeah.
So when you saw something like that, you were awestruck. You was like, oh my goodness, dude is really scratching. We got DJs here in Denver like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
that's how I felt when I found out about the hip hop scene out here. I was like,
so we, you know, I got a chance to meet Gary then, you know, Scratch G then.
Okay.
And after that, they became Cutting Crew. However, Scratch G, you know, he would always call us up and tell us come perform at some of his shows that he was doing.
That's dope.
He was always down for us.
Oh, yeah.
And then Scratch G, matter of fact, Scratch G, we met Scratch G because Chauncey D hung out with this guy named Junebug. And Junebug and Scratch G were best friends. And Junebug was a rapper. And he used to have equipment and turntables and stuff at his house. And we would go over his house over in the East Village and stuff and bang out and do music all day long. And Junebug and Scratch G were best friends. So that's how Squeeze from the Homeboys, you know, knew Scratch G. And he took me over there and I met him. And after that, you know, Cutting Crew, they started Cutting Crew. Next thing you know, we started doing shows together. And man, it was beautiful back then, man.
So just to rewind a little bit too, it was 93 was the summer of violence, right? Or what was it? Or do you remember what year they say is the summer of violence in the 90s?
It might have been 93.
Was it more dangerous back then in a way of like colors and stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? Like you couldn't wear certain colors.
Yeah, you couldn't wear it. Oh man. And see, that's why they were shooting at my mama's house, because we were wearing red.
That's crazy.
On the east side.
Yeah.
Amongst all this blue, we were wearing red and they wasn't having it. They were not having it at all.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that summer of violence, man, there was a summer of violence in 87.
Oh, okay.
It had got real bad when the gangbanging really like first started. Like,
and they came from Cali, right?
Yeah, like Delonte, you know, my ex's brother, he had got shot down there on 28th in Humboldt. You know what I'm saying, by the Bloods, and they killed him. And it was just total chaos, man. It went from being a big hip hop music scene to little Los Angeles. Yeah. It was dangerous. You couldn't wear no red over here.
What do you think? Why do you think the industry looked over Denver at that time when it comes to like hip hop?
You know, honestly, what I feel it is, or think it is that they see Denver as a small city with big dreams that they can come to and make money off of.
Right.
So why would you put a city on that is paying your bills? You know what I mean? And buying
like a touring city?
Yes. And they can tour. I mean, you got artists like
all the major artists come.
Yes, they still can come to Denver and pay their bills. And I've always tripped on that, man. Like when I moved to Tennessee, out there, no West Coast rappers at all can ever go down to Tennessee and make money and do big shows, and because ain't nobody gonna show. Only someone like E40.
Like real big mainstream.
Real big, you know what I'm saying, mainstream artists. But in Denver has been the what can I say? Denver has been the stable foundation for artists to come to
network
tour and make their money and do their concerts. Because Denver, for some reason, they only support what they see on TV.
Like as far as the people out here?
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
You know, if you ain't on TV, if you ain't on the charts, if you ain't, you know, got videos, if you ain't on no major label, they're not dealing with you.
Was it hard to get the fans to gravitate? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. They're really hard. You know, then that's why, you know, in 97, when we put out the 10 Years of Bullshit album.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We were signed to True Hustling Records, which was independent. However, we had a distribution deal with another label and down in Tennessee. And that had really put our album out there nationwide, and it was really selling and doing good. We had a lot of support from other states. And I saw the reports on it, and it was really nice. Texas was one of the biggest buyers of our album.
Yeah, and even nowadays, one of the first markets I tapped in with outside of Colorado was Texas. I feel like there's a good connection there. But I wanted to ask, like, who's on your Mount Rushmore as far as either rap groups or rappers, like all time out of Denver or Colorado? We'll go. Yeah, Colorado. Like, you can only pick 4, and that could be like one being a group. Example, you know, BMW, or. Right. Or a rapper, like, because nowadays there's more rappers than rap groups, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
yeah. So if you could only name 4.
Rushmore of it.
Yeah.
Like I said, the Legion of Doom, they're the true pioneers, rap and roll. Like I said, Boogie Bass, MC Boone, Billie Jean, Keith McDay, you know, they're like the real pioneers of it. However, in the late 80s and 90s, they wasn't doing it anymore like we were.
Yeah.
We were young coming up into the game. So on the Mount Rushmore of it, groups, I say, you said 4, right?
Yeah. Hey, let me make it a little easier. Don't include the Homeboys, so it's not.
Oh, don't include.
Yeah, don't. Okay.
Right.
Make it a little easier for you.
Mount Rushmore. Wow. I gotta say, Legion of Doom.
Okay.
Black Hole Posse, BMW, and the last one, they're individual artists. They're not a group, but if I could put them in one category, it will be Billie Jean, Keith McDay, and rap and roll, but they're not a group. So,
okay.
The last group I would say, who you say, AK? Oh, Mount Rushmore. Oh, tag team.
Tag team. Okay.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's kind of hard to not put them on there.
Put them on there. Yeah. So I say Legion of Doom. Oh, I got to take tag team off of there, man, because you got the Legion of Doom, Black Hole Posse, BMW, and I can't forget Morn Mosley and the Living Legends. Those 4 right there.
Okay, that's good.
Rest in peace, Morn, man, because he was one of the best MCs like around this area back in the day.
Now, so moving forward to today, one of the biggest names obviously is Trev Rich. You know, he got Grammy nominated. He was signed to Cash Money at one point. Trev Rich? He's from Park Hill, but
yeah, that's my homeboy Travis Adam. That's his son.
Oh, yep.
Me and Trav went to kindergarten together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to see his son doing what it was a part of, you know, establishing that, that's a blessing.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say, like, who, if you could name 4 like current or, you know, more recent from, let's say, the 2000s on up, you know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to shout out Trev because I feel like a lot of times he's one of them names that everyone be talking about. Just what songs? Flex Some was probably the big one with Cash Money, but that's kind of old now. That's like 2015. So what was there more tension or collaboration back in the day between like the east side, the north side? You know, all the artists from the different sides of town.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like back then? Was this a lot of competition?
Yeah, it was more
Still?
competition. There wasn't no collabing back then. We were like wrestlers or something.
Yeah.
It was like football, teams or something. We didn't collab with each other or nothing of that nature.
It was kind of like who's going to put the city on first type
First,
thing?
yes. We were all rushing to put the city on.
It's still like that to this day.
Right,
to a certain extent, yeah.
And look at me 40 years later, I'm still,
Pushing, yeah.
yes, trying to do it.
What would you, if we go from the 2000s on up, like who would be on your Mount Rushmore?
Okay, on the Mount Rushmore, I say M and LD.
Okay.
I say that whole camp, which is Kofax Cac, rest in peace, Interstate Ike, Young Doe, and the other cats. Who's the other cats in there?
You say it starts with the A or Analyzer Slim.
Slim.
Yeah. And then
Hawkman.
Ike,
And then you can't forget the main guy.
Young Doe.
They got DIA Studios.
Oh, Boozilla.
Boozilla, that's my guy right there. Yeah, me and Boozilla go way back. I got a brother, Dreddy. You know what I'm saying? He kind of inspired and was there in the beginning of him and LD with Young Dope, like showing him the way, being inspired by his big brother. They wanted to be rappers, looking at us. But yeah, I say them, M and LD, Riri. You said 2000s and up, right?
Yeah.
Riri. Because Riri been out, but in 2000 she was really putting in work.
Yeah.
Who else? That's kind of that's right there. Oh, you had my brother Dreddy. You had his camp. You had, Dreddy, L Shady, and KP. All them cats. They were putting it down. Two more. It's kind of hard for me to think right now to the 2000s. But like I said, on the Mount Rushmore of them, I say Interstate Ike, Kofax Cac, Young Doe.
So just MNLD pretty much.
Yeah. Pretty much, because they was really doing it.
Right, I respect it. I feel like most people in the city could vouch for MNLD.
Yeah, they were really doing it because they were sending me music out to Tennessee, and I was playing it in the clubs out there and promoting it out there, and they was really feeling it. They was feeling Cac and Ike and Doe.
So how do you feel about like the current sound of hip hop and Denver sound? Like, how has Denver sound kind of evolved over the years, like from when we started to now?
It's really evolved over the years, due to technology and people having their studios at home and could really do their own work. Yeah, it's involved. It has evolved, and I think the sound is really good. Like I said, I showcased over 400 artists in the past 4 years, and I got to hear who's good, who's not. And the majority of them, I got to say that they are good. The majority of them are really good. There's not too many whack artists out there, per se, if you know what I mean. But the Denver sound is really coming along, man. I like what they're doing with it. They're incorporating some of the West Coast with the South, with the East. And
it's like a gumbo pot then.
Right. Yeah. And that's me as a producer. That's the elements that I bring to my production. I incorporate the West Coast funk with the East Coast, style of break beats and things of that nature, and with the Southern hard 808s. You feel me? And that's what I incorporate in my production. And it created this real good sound. And AK can tell you all about it. Like I said, we've been working on the Lions Den project and Denver Love Volume 3 with Human Sabotage and my cousin Caesar from the Tan Band. Shout out to Caesar. We got to get it right. And like I said, the sound is really developed and it's really good right now. And I feel in my heart that it's ready to launch. These Denver artists are really good.
what do you think they got to do to take it to that next level? Or do you think we need a more distinguished sound? Because a lot of times people nowadays would be like, oh, you could hear the upbeat, beats. Okay, that's some Detroit, Midwest. Okay, oh, I could tell this is LA, West Coast. Oh, I could tell this some trap, this some Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you think Denver needs like a distinct sound, or like what do you think we need to do to get to that next level?
Absolutely, we do. And I was just speaking the other day about the evolution of hip hop. Start off on the East Coast.
Right.
You had the
boom
gritty loops, break beats,
the boom bap,
baps,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Type of, and then you had the West Coast that brought the funk to the game.
Right.
The live instrumentation, you know what I'm saying? The smooth drum patterns. And then from the West Coast, you had the South come up.
Right.
Like with, Ghetto Boys was out way back then. They had their own distinct sound. And I love the Ghetto Boys, But then in the late 90s, you had No Limit. No Limit kind of broke open the South.
Right.
Outside of Outkast and Jermaine Dupri. Jermaine Dupri, one of my best producers, man. I kind of take I'm influenced by his style of production of Jermaine Dupri's. Me and him kind of do the same style of production.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, when Master P came with the Southern sound, he brought a whole different sound to the game. And then after that, it's just a wrap. You know what I'm saying? So, what was it like seeing the boom, like the marijuana boom in like 2012 when the city started growing a lot and like more people coming in from out of state, the hip hop scene's growing? Like, what was that like, you being around since the 80s and 90s, seeing the city grow like that? And obviously now it's kind of, it's still dope, but we kind of chilled out with the population increase and stuff. Right.
So yeah, what's it been like from your perspective, especially like when it comes to the hip hop scene and how that's impacted the hip hop scene?
Well, what it should have did is should have boosted the hip hop community.
Right.
Because I was in Tennessee, I'm in Nashville, and I was doing the same thing I'm doing out here. Shows and DJing and DJing at clubs and things of that nature. So I'm standing out on Broadway one night, and these two chicks came up to me. And they're like, Norrad, how you doing? I said, I'm fine. They said, why are you still here in Tennessee? I'm like, what are you talking about? She said, don't you know they just legalized marijuana in Denver?
Yeah.
Why are you still out here? I said, wait a minute. You're right.
No, for real.
I just got charged in Tennessee for a blunt doobie. Cost me $125. I said, man, I can go out there and smoke freely. But, what I think about that, man, is that boom, it kind of shocked me.
It did, yeah.
To be honest, because we used to go to jail for that. We couldn't, man, like on this block right here, if we was out here smoking joints, they call the police on us. We go to jail.
Yeah.
So we had to sneak through the back right here, go smoke our little weed and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like I said, when that came, I just knew it was going to boost the economy and it was going to help launch Denver's music scene as well. Because I know there's going to be a lot of revenue coming into the town.
Right.
So what I've been working on for the last, 20 years is getting this major label deal so I can start signing these artists.
Explain that when you say major, like just connecting with like a Universal or an Atlantic or?
Yeah, distribution.
Okay.
Distribution deal.
Hell yeah.
I'm about to Russell Simmons this Denver music. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
I'm ready to win it and only in it for a minute.
So did you tap in with Scorp Diesel while you was out there too in Nashville? Because he's from the Springs. Well, originally from the Bay, but he moved to the Springs, and then I don't know. I know he was in like Nashville at one point too.
Diesel, that name doesn't sound familiar.
No.
However, when I was out there, I was working with GU in the South, Young Buck,
Okay.
D-Tay.
Diesel was working with Young Buck. Okay.
Murder Rich, until Young Buck did that to 50.
With 50, yeah.
Yes, and that ruined the whole process of Tennessee or Nashville blowing up.
He was supposed to be out here like a week or two ago or something.
Yeah, and Jelly Roll, I was there when Jelly Roll didn't have a tattoo on his body, what I'm saying? And he was this little chubby white dude talking about listen to my demo, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you met him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
before he went to jail.
Right.
I was out there and he gave me a CD. Matter of fact, I still got like his first CD in my trunk.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, Jelly Roll. And then you had All Star, which is Starlito. You know what I'm saying? Then my boy Marlon Dotson, author Marlon Dotson, aka Chili Sauce, Kai Hill. You had Kenji, and a whole bunch of other artists. Man, it really blew up out there in Cashville. Really did.
That's what it is, man.
Star, you know what I'm saying? I worked with a lot of people out there. I worked with a lot of musicians, man. It's called Music City.
Right,
and,
yeah.
And it's just full of great musicians.
And then, so you came out here back for pretty much after the marijuana boomed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Matter of fact, in 2011, I started working on an album called Welcome to Denver. I got a distribution deal with a label out of Nashville called Dynasty Records. Because I was out there pushing and grinding so hard with my music and promoting Denver artists and selling my CDs and doing all of this that I got approached by this guy who wanted my email address. I gave it to him, and he said his boss wanted to holler at me. A couple of weeks went by, and next thing you know, I got this email, and in the email, they offered me a distribution deal with Dynasty Records.
Yeah.
So I went on and accepted it. I started my own label with this guy out there in Nashville, and we started ISIS Records, and we got the distribution deal with Dynasty. I flew out to Denver in 2011 and started working on the Welcome to Denver album.
Okay.
And I tried to call every artist I could find at the time, you know what I'm saying, to feature on the album. You know, I got a whole bunch of people featured. I got 21 Denver artists featured on it.
Oh, okay. So you've been pushing.
My boy Swin from ISIS Records in Cashville. That's my guy, man. I appreciate you, bro. But yeah, and so I came out here and started working on that album. I executive produced it myself. I put it all together, finished the album, went back out to Nashville, and then I sent it down to Atlanta to have Steve Rowland from Tag Team mix and master the whole album.
Yeah.
And he did that for me.
That's dope.
And Dynasty Records released it in 2011. You know what I'm saying? It was in Tower Records and on 250 different digital download platforms and things of that nature. And yeah, I thought it was going to do a lot bigger, but you know, I didn't have the marketing budget.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, all right, man. I appreciate you coming on the show. Is there anything you pushing right now? I know you brought up the Lions Den. You be DJing and stuff like that. You know what's going on now, man. Let them know. Let the people know.
I'll be DJing now, man. Down at Chocolate City over in Montbello on 4611 Peoria Street every Friday and Saturday. Y'all need to come out. I also put on the Mile High Music Showcase, where I showcase 10 different artists once a month for this show. And, you know, it's grown over the years. It's really huge. Like I said, I've showcased over 400 different artists in the past 4 years. And like I said, shout out to Queen over at Chocolate City, Caesar, D, you know what I'm saying? Really showed me a lot of love. I really got back into DJing just, you know, a few years ago. And like I said, yeah, I'm out Chocolate City doing that now. Working on this Line Dance project, the Denver Love Volume 3 with AK. You know, we got Sabotage working on his album as well. You know, the Homeboys, we did a reunion in 2017. We started working on a new album, a reunion album. And then that kind of, you know, when it's, you know,
everyone's busy. Yeah, everyone's busy.
You know, everybody, you know, was tripping on that. You know, it was a blessing for us to be back on stage together after 20-something years.
Yeah, that's dope.
Years.
Yeah.
So we were working on that, and then I started DJing, and that kind of got pushed to the side. I started promoting and working with these Denver artists to try to help them get on, not trying to do nothing. I'm going to get them on. You know what I'm saying? Because the last thing I do before I leave this planet is to put my city on. You know what I'm talking about?
No, that's real.
But, yeah. And that's about it, man. Just, you know, DJing and producing. And, you know, on this album I've been working on, I got a lot of artists featured on there, like Let Loose. You got your boy Dragon E from GSOM. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I got AK, Black Old Posse, BMW, my cousin Caesar. You know, he on there singing his heart out. You know, he's a super duper R&B artist. Shout out to Caesar, Dan, man, and the rest of y'all, man.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Where can they find you at on social media and all that stuff, man? If they trying to get in contact with you.
Okay, all you got to do is go on Facebook and type in Mr. General, one word, Norrad, Norrad, Mr. General Norrad. And then from there, you can find me on Instagram at Mr. General Norrad, or just General Norrad itself. 2 R's in Norrad, though. Put the 2 R's and you'll find me. You know, I'm on TikTok and things of that nature, and you can see everything I've been doing over the past 5 to 7 years. It's been a blessing. You know, like I said, I'm still here pushing, you know what I'm saying? All praise to the Most High, Yahweh Almighty, you know what I'm saying, for allowing me to be here today, to be able to do this interview and to continue on the legacy of HBO, the Homeboys, and, you know, all the other artists who helped establish this hip-hop music scene here in Denver. Like I said, it's been a blessing over the years. Next year, 1986 to 2026, marks 40 years. And guess what I'm doing next year? I'm coming, baby. Here I come.
Hell yeah, that's what it is, man.
Salute. All right, check it out. I want to give a shout out to Brendan from Mile High Minute for this interview. I really appreciate that, man. I was wondering when y'all was gonna start reaching out to the pioneers and stuff and interviewing us. You know, I see your work. You're doing a lot of good things, a lot of big things for the hip hop community, for music in general. I love it, man. Keep up the good work. And like I said, the future is ours. Denver, Colorado. That's my motto.
Make sure y'all hit that like button, comment down below your favorite gem you picked up from this interview. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button to stay notified when all latest news drops. Mile High Minute, #1 blog in the universe. We out. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. You also want to give a big shout out to JVC, some other pioneers of Denver hip hop group music, Denver hip hop music, which is your boy Bumpy Chill, Michelle DeBell, Chaka, Jam X, and that whole camp out there, man. They were there in the beginning as well. You know, like I said, I had to give them a shout out, JVC, and a shout out to all the pioneers who helped lay the foundation for this hip hop here in Denver, man. It's been a blessing and a real big lesson in its own.